Hello and welcome to another part of this chapter graph theory. In this part we shall discuss about Prim's algorithm to find minimal spanning tree from a given weighted graph. We know that there are two types of algorithms, namely Prim's algorithm and Kruskal's algorithm to find the minimal spanning tree or the shortest spanning tree from a given weighted graph. Now in this part we shall discuss about Prim's algorithm, and in the next part we shall discuss about Kruskal's algorithm. So let us consider one example. Suppose this is the given graph, given weighted graph. This graph has 6 vertices and number of weighted edges. We have to find the minimal spanning tree from this weighted graph by Prim's algorithm. Now this is an weighted graph and this is not a tree because the graph contains at least one circuit. We know that a minimal spanning tree is a spanning tree having the minimum weight among the spanning trees. So what is a spanning tree? A spanning tree of this weighted graph is a subgraph of this graph which must be a tree and contains every vertices of this graph. So we shall find a tree which will contain every vertices of this graph. So we have plotted all the vertices of this graph. So the spanning tree will contain 6 vertices, and we know that a tree with 6 vertices can have exactly 6 minus 1, that is 5 number of edges. So we have to select 5 edges from this graph. Now note that we have to select 5 edges from this graph in such a manner that it will form a tree, and also weight of the tree will be minimum among the spanning trees. So let us start the algorithm. Now in this algorithm we shall form a matrix, actually upper triangular matrix, from which we can select the 5 edges. So let us form the upper triangular matrix. So we have constructed the upper triangular matrix. Now let us explain how to construct this matrix. Actually here we find that the number of rows are the number of vertices, and also the number of columns are number of vertices. So it is a 6 cross 6 matrix, and the elements of this matrix are like that. If the two vertices are connected by an edge, then the weight of that edge has been plotted here, and if there exists no edge between the vertices, then we have plotted infinitive. So that means the graph contains no self loop, so there is no edge between A and A, so we have written infinitive here. There is one edge between A and B. The weight of this edge is 18, so we have written 18 here. There is no edge between A and C, so we have put infinitive here. Similarly, there is no edge between A and D, and also between A and E, so we have put infinitive. And finally there is one edge between A and F, so we have written 15 here. This is the weight of this edge. And similarly for the other vertices, as for example, there is one edge between D and E having the weight 36, so we have put this element 36 between D and E. So this is the required upper triangular matrix. We do not need to consider the total matrix because the matrix must be symmetric. Because this is non-directed graph, so this matrix will automatically be symmetric. That's why we have considered only the upper triangular part. Now let us start the algorithm. Now we can start with any vertex. It does not matter which vertex you select, but the ultimate result will be the same. So you can select any vertex from this matrix. So let us assume that we are starting with the vertex C. So if we start with the vertex C, then we have to consider the row of C and also the column of C. So we consider the row of C and column of C, and we shall find the minimum element among this row and column. Here we find that this 9 is the minimum element. So we shall select this element 9, and here we find that this 9 is between B and C. So there must be one edge between B and C having the weight 9. Here we see that there is one edge between B and C having the weight 9. So we are selecting this edge. That means we are joining B and C having the weight 9. So this is the first edge of this spanning tree. Now since we have connected B and C, so in the next step we have to find the minimum element from the rows of B and C and also from the columns of B and C. So now we shall consider two rows, that means the row of B and row of C, and also the column of B and column of C. Now let us find the minimum element. Now remember that we have already selected 9, so we can't select 9 anymore. So from the row of B and the row of C and also from the column of B and column of C, we find that the next minimum element is 6. So we select this element, and this element is between B and F. So there must be one edge between B and F having the weight 6. So we find that there is one edge between B and F having the weight 6. So we select this edge. So we can connect this edge having the weight 6. So this is the second edge of the spanning tree. Now we have connected B, C and F. So in the next step we have to consider the rows of B, C and F and also the column of B, C and F. And we have to find the next minimum element from these 3 rows and 3 columns. Now if we look carefully, we shall find that the minimum element from these 3 rows B, C, F and also from these 3 columns B, C, F, the next minimum element is 7, which is between E and F. So if we select this element E and F, that means we have to connect the edge between E and F. So we connect the edge between E and F having the weight 7. So this is the third edge of the spanning tree. Now only 2 edges are remaining. So we have connected B, C, E and F. So in the next step we shall consider the 4 rows B, C, E and F and also the 4 columns B, C, E and F. So if we find the next minimum element from these 4 rows and 4 columns, we shall easily find that the next minimum element is 10. So we must select this element 10 between C and E. Now if we look at the spanning tree, then we find that if we connect this C and E, then this will form a circuit. That means there will be a closed path or cycle. And we know that a tree does not contain any closed circuit. So we can't connect this edge. Therefore, this element cannot be selected. So we have to again find the next minimum element from these 4 rows B, C, E and F and also from these 4 columns. Now we find that the next minimum element is 14 and this is between C and F. Again from this tree we find that if we connect C and F, then it will form a circuit. So by the same logic we again can't select this element. Therefore we repeat the process. That means we find the next minimum element from these 4 rows and 4 columns of B, C, E and F. Now we find that the next minimum is 15, which is between A and F. Now we find that if we connect A and F, then this will not form a circuit, so we can select this element. That means we connect the edge between A and F having the weight 15. So this is the weight 15 of the edge between A and F. So we have selected 4 edges, so only one edge is remaining. Now if we consider these 5 rows A, B, C, E, F and also 5 columns A, B, C, E, F, then we find that the next minimum element is 18, which is between A and B. Now if we connect A and B, then we find that it will form a circuit, so we can't select this element. Again we consider these 5 rows A, B, C, E, F and 5 columns A, B, C, E, F. Now we find that the next minimum element is 28, which is between C and D. So if we select this edge between C and D, then this will not form a cycle or circuit. So we can select this element. That is, we can connect the edge between C and D. So we connect the edge between C and D having the weight 28. Now this is a spanning tree and it contains 5 edges, and also this is the spanning tree having the minimum weight by Prim's algorithm. So this is the required spanning tree. And what is the weight of this graph or this tree? Weight of the tree, here we find that weight of the tree is 15 plus 6 plus 9 plus 7 plus 28, that is equal to 65. So this 65 is the weight of the minimal spanning tree. So this is the required minimal spanning tree having 6 vertices and 5 edges, and the weight of the tree is 65. So that completes the solution. With this we complete this part. In this part we have considered Prim's algorithm. In the next part we shall find the minimal spanning tree by using the Klusk's algorithm. So see you in the next part. Until then, thanks for watching.